The floor beneath you is about to collapse. You can't see your hand in front of your face. And somewhere in this burning room, there is a child who is not moving. Every day, men and women choose to run toward the thing every human instinct screams to run from. A structure fire burns at over 1100 degrees Fahrenheit. At that temperature, aluminum melts, glass liquefies, and the oxygen in a room, the very thing you need to survive, becomes a weapon. Most people hear that and think they understand it. They don't, because understanding fire as a concept and standing inside it are two completely different things. One is information. The other is a decision you make with your body while everything in your mind is telling you to turn around. Firefighters don't just walk into fire. They walk into a changing, collapsing, invisible environment where the rules shift every single second. The floor you stepped on 30 seconds ago may no longer hold your weight. The wall to your left may already be structurally dead. It just hasn't fallen yet. The smoke, that black, chemical, suffocating cloud, it doesn't just blind you, it kills you, quietly, efficiently, before you even realize what's happening. Carbon monoxide has no smell, no color, no warning. It simply shuts you down from the inside, and the last thing you feel is tired. So before a single firefighter steps through that door, they suit up. 75 pounds of gear. Turnout coat, built to resist direct flame. Helmet, boots reinforced against nails, glass, collapsed debris, gloves thick enough to handle superheated metal, and strapped to their back, the SBA, the self-contained breathing apparatus, the tank that holds the only clean air they will have access to from the moment they mask up. 30 minutes of oxygen, sometimes less, depending on how hard they're working, how fast they're breathing, how deep they go. And that clock starts running before they ever touch the building. By the time they've climbed 3 floors, navigated a smoke-filled corridor, located a victim, and started a search, they may have 15 minutes left, maybe 10. And now the math becomes brutal. Can you move this person? Can you navigate back the way you came? Do you even know which way that is anymore? The question is never simply, can you save this person? The question is always, can you save this person and still get yourself out alive? Sometimes, in the dark, in the heat, in the collapsing silence of a building that is actively dying around you, the answer is no. And the firefighter makes that decision alone, in seconds, with no one to confirm it and no way to know if it was right until it's already over. But even that, even the math of survival is not the thing that experienced firefighters lose sleep over. What they fear is flashover. Flashover doesn't announce itself. It doesn't give you a countdown. It is the moment when a room stops burning and starts detonating. When the heat builds past 600 degrees and every surface, every object, every molecule of air in that space reaches its ignition point simultaneously. Not a growing fire, not a flame spreading across a wall. Everything at once. The entire room becomes fire in a single second, and if you are inside it when it happens, there is no version of the story where you walk out. Firefighters train obsessively to see it coming. They learn to read the smoke, the way it begins to roll along the ceiling rather than rise, the way the color shifts from gray to a deep churning black-yellow that means the gases have reached critical concentration. They learn to feel the temperature change above their heads, the strange drop that happens just before the ignition cascade begins. They drill it until it becomes reflex, until their body knows what to do before their mind catches up. But flashover gives you seconds, and reflex only works if panic doesn't arrive first, because here is what no training exercise can fully replicate. The weight of real smoke pressing against your mask, the sound of the building shifting beneath you, the total absolute darkness that exists inside a working structure fire. A darkness that is different from any darkness you have experienced, because it is not just the absence of light, it is the presence of something actively hostile. In that environment, at that moment, the human brain does not want to move forward. Every system in your body is designed to protect you, and every single one of those systems is screaming the same thing. Get out, stop, turn around, leave. These people move forward anyway, and when they finally do come out, when the air hits them and the mask comes off and they're standing on the sidewalk with their hands on their knees, that's when the second part of this job begins. The part nobody films. The part that doesn't make the news. Firefighters experience PTSD at rates nearly double that of the general population. Some studies put the number at 37% of active duty personnel carrying clinical symptoms. Intrusive memories, hypervigilance, the inability to shut the brain off when the body is finally still, but it doesn't look the way people imagine it. It doesn't always look like visible distress or traumatic crisis. Sometimes it looks like a man sitting completely still at a kitchen table at 3 a.m., staring at nothing, not sure why he can't sleep and not wanting to examine it too closely. Sometimes it looks like someone who laughs at everything on a call, a kind of armor built over years, because the alternative is feeling it, and feeling it means not being able to function, and not being able to function means someone doesn't come home. So you build the armor, you wear it long enough that you forget it's there, and then, one day, something cracks it, and everything you stored behind it comes out at once. Every firefighter has a call they carry, not necessarily the worst one by any external measure, not necessarily the one with the highest body count or the most dramatic outcome, just a specific face, a specific moment. A decision made in a hallway at 2 a.m. that replays without permission, without schedule, without mercy. You carry what you see. And in this job, you see things no human being was designed to hold. There is a protocol for when it gets to the very worst point. When a firefighter is inside a burning structure and they are lost or trapped or running out of air, they transmit a single word over the radio. Mayday. 4 letters. The most feared sound in the fire service. Because when that word goes out, everything changes. The incident commander redirects resources. A rapid intervention team gears up and prepares to go back in. Other firefighters, already exhausted, already deep into their own oxygen supply, start moving toward the source of the distress, toward the thing that just beat one of their own. Firefighters delay calling Mayday. They push longer than they should. Try one more door, one more corridor, one more attempt at orientation in the dark. Not because they want to die, but because calling it means admitting that someone else now has to risk their life for yours. And that weight, the weight of putting a brother or sister back into what just overwhelmed you, is almost unbearable. This is the culture of the fire service. It is also, honestly, what gets people killed, and yet, no one who has ever survived a Mayday call regrets the people who came back for them. No one who has ever heard that transmission and gone back in, found their person, pulled them out, walked them into the light, has ever described it as anything other than the most important thing they've ever done. Because this job does not ultimately run on policy or protocol or procedure. It runs on one belief, simple, absolute, terrifying in its weight, that the person next to you will come back for you, no matter what. The average person has one instinct when they smell smoke: leave, get out, move away from it as fast as possible, and don't look back. There are roughly 1.16 million firefighters in the United States alone, and every single one of them has stood at the entrance of a burning building, felt the heat pushing outward against their body like a wall, and made a different choice. If this moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more dangerous content like this. See you in the next one.